Hi everybody, welcome to my craft room. I'm so excited to show it to you today. I personally really love seeing other sewists and crafters show off their crafting spaces, and I wanted to join in on the fun. So this is mine. So we moved into this house back in December, and I now have space, this whole room, to dedicate to cosplay, which has been so fun and so great. I don't do this professional or anything. This is definitely like strictly a hobby. I don't make money off of cosplay, but it is like my adult hobby. This is what I spend my grown-up job money on. It's just really nice to have like a room that's like sectioned off where I can keep all my cosplay disaster in one place. I think that's enough yapping, so we'll start the tour. We'll start over at my sewing desk because I think this is probably where I spend the most time when I'm cosplaying. I've got two machines. I have my Viking Emerald 118. I really like it. It's been a fantastic machine. I got it as a wedding present, very exciting. And then my serger is an Imagine Baby Lock. Also really love that machine. Next to the serger, I always keep the little like threading guide because it is complicated, and even though I've had it for many years, I have not memorized how to thread all of it. And then the only other thing I keep on top of my sewing desk is this little wire pink office organizer that holds all my scissors. One of the drawers holds all my pins, and then my sewing clips, tape, pattern weights, sewing machine oil, all of that. It's just an IKEA desk, tabletop from IKEA, and then the Alex drawers. You're gonna notice I own a lot of Alex drawers. I'm nosy and I always wanna know how people are organized and what they keep in their drawers, so I will show you that as well. In this top one, I have kind of your sewing necessities that I reach for a lot. I have my fabric marking, I have my thread snips, hand sewing, and machine needles. I have an awl, a glue stick, because that kind of comes in handy sometimes if you need to like glue a piece of fabric together before you sew it, thread gauge, and measuring tapes. This next one is where all my thread lives. It also houses like the sewing machine, feet, a couple of bias tape makers. I like to keep my thread in a drawer so it doesn't get dusty. And then behind my regular sewing thread is my embroidery thread. And I went through a phase in the pandemic where I got really into Brazilian embroidery. So I have a lot of really cool textured Brazilian embroidery thread that I really need to use more in a cosplay because it's a very cool technique. Next one down is my serger cones. I have a lot of serger cones. I also have a big old box of snaps. Got serger accessories in there, and then behind all the serger cones is my horsehair braid, which I don't reach for too often, but when I need it, it is incredibly handy. Next door down is one of the messier ones. It's all the beads and the bead adjacent things. Some of these beads are organized, some of them are not. So I have like this one, which is like an old tackle box that I have some of my more recent beads, but the further back you go in the drawer, they're like, the worse it gets. I have all my alloy beads in here, jump rings, snaps, rivets, grommets, it all lives in here. And then in my bottom drawer is the foam sheet and fake flowers drawer. I don't usually have a ton of fake flowers on hand unless I'm specifically making a costume that requires them. So they just live in here along with just some colorful foam sheets from the craft store. And on this side is more sewing accessories. Up here I actually have pens, pencils, paint markers. I have some pliers and some wire cutters, as well as a grinding stone to sharpen up my X-Acto knife and box cutter. And also a very girly pop pocket knife. Then it goes down into some more notions. I have zippers in here, Stitch Witch, and then my hook and eye tape, twill tape, bias tape. It's the tape drawer, the tape of zipper tape, all the tapes. It goes in here. In here is where I keep my boning as well as all of my like measuring implements. I have so many clear rulers. Most of them are broken because they get stepped on, so that's frustrating. And that's a me problem. I need to be better at picking them up and not hiding them underneath fabric and then stepping on them. I also have a couple like attachment things, like some buckles and some little J-hooks in here. This drawer is a disaster, but it's my elastic and Velcro drawer. I have a ton of Velcro. And then all my rolls of elastics. I have different widths of elastic and they all come in handy. And then the bottom drawer, this is like mostly a lot of leftover trims from cards. We got a lot of gold trim, and then ribbons, twines, string, and stuff I'm not using all the time. A lot of this twine I have used on both of my Aloy cosplays. Yeah, just stuff that, you know, You keep it around because you might use it again. You never know. So that's the sewing desk, and if we just rotate this way, then we're at the crafting table. So I have my tables in kind of an L shape, and a lot of that is for ease of filming. I do lose a little bit of floor space that way, but it's not enough to like make that big of a difference. So this is also an IKEA tabletop, same one set of Alex drawers on one side and then legs on the other. I have a cutting mat, self-healing cutting mat, and then this silicone mat that I use for like gluing and painting and hot glue. And then of course, more drawers. These drawers are a lot more crafting focused as opposed to sewing. But in this top one, I actually have a lot of my camera accessories for filming tutorials. So stuff like my microphones, batteries, chargers, a mini tripod, just whatever I need when I'm filming tutorials and I need to like swap something on the fly. One below, I've got paintbrushes, pencils, X-Acto knives, box cutters, foam cutters, and then I have this little hammer. This is also a messy drawer. It's my wig styling drawer. I feel like wig styling is hard to not be an absolute disaster. But I got my hair rollers, my crimper, scissors, brushes, wig stands, all the stuff I need to style wigs. This is also kind of a messy drawer, but it is all my hot glue. I had a reel go viral on Instagram about 3 years ago, and SureBonder sent me a PR package, which was very kind of them. That had not ever happened to me before, but they gave me a bunch of glue sticks and glue guns, and yeah, so. This is kind of a special drawer. It's very cool. That was very nice. Thank you, SureBonder, again. And then this bottom one is also kind of a disaster. It's paint. I need to organize it. I also have things like tacky glue and Mod Podge and Flex Bond. Just any sort of like paint, primer, or glue lives in here. I think you also might find this interesting. I want to do an entire video about my setup for filming YouTube videos, but here's a little sneak peek of that. This is my camera and camera stand that hangs out above the crafting desk. So whenever I'm crafting or gluing, like this camera is what is capturing that. It's a G7X Mark II. I've had it for years. I got it off of Facebook Marketplace. It has been a fantastic camera and I really like it. And then I also have this lamp for lighting. As you can see, it's kind of broken, but it turns on, so why get rid of it, right? I don't keep like a ton of decor in here. I find I work a little bit better in a more minimal kind of setting because cosplay is already like so stuff oriented, like materials and things. So I keep it pretty like lowly decorated, but I do have this little silicone dragon on the lamp that I got at my very first convention. So that is always fun to look at. It's super cute. Moving over to the first set of cube shelves, I have 3. These are a type of cube shelf that is smaller than the IKEA Kallax, and it's actually discontinued. I got these on clearance at IKEA for like $30, I think in 2015. So they're gone. This cube usually gets used for current projects. I have a lot of my Aloy armor on here. I also just permanently keep my Aloy wig up here because she is not a bag wig. She's very heavily styled and braided, and I want to preserve that as much as possible because it's very difficult to restyle, so she just lives on a wig stand up here. Behind her hair, I have my cards hat and then a little tiara and just a little Halloween skull I got as a prop for Harrow. Here, this is my book of self-drafted patterns, and then this is eventually going to be a book of fabric swatches that I've purchased if I ever get around to cutting them out and organizing them and labeling everything. And then my canvas wig head just kind of props that up. There's more lower down as well. This is kind of like whatever. I have some Aloy materials here as well. I have a mug, I have some gold chopsticks I was going to use for a cosplay but never ended up using them, so they're just kind of sitting here. In this cube is where I keep a lot of stuff for my lighting. So I have a ring light in here and then charging cables for what I'm using to light myself right now, which is some stick lights. I'm actually in a basement, so it's very dark in here, so I need quite a bit of external lighting for tutorials and filming videos. And these are also great for cosplay shoots. I got them pretty recently and they have been an excellent purchase. Big fan. And then in this cube below me, I have all my ironing stuff. I've got my steamer, my iron, my temporary basting spray, a spray bottle. More underneath the desk is garbage can. That's not very fun. But here's all of my cosplay books. I have some embroidery books, makeup, sewing, manuals for my machines. All these books are right here. And below that is just some more styrofoam wig heads. This is the first styrofoam wig head I ever got. I got it when I was like 16, and I think you can really tell. Wow, blast from the past. But they last for forever, and I'm not gonna throw it away just because she has been doodled on, because that's wasteful. Now we have made it to fabric storage. This is a Calyx unit from IKEA. I got it also on sale because it was in the as-is section. So it has a chunk missing out of one of the shelves. I have had this also since 2015, I think. It has gone through many moves with me. If I take it apart one more time, it will not go back together. So I was really glad I was able to put it together in this house. I'm a really big believer that A, you don't need to spend a ton of money on cosplay storage, and that you should be buying stuff secondhand whenever possible. This isn't like technically secondhand, but it was broken. I brought it home. I have loved it. I've used it. I brought it back to life. I did buy the like IKEA official cubes for them just because it looks nice. People are getting rid of IKEA stuff on Facebook Marketplace all the time, so check there first. On top of this, I have another little lamp for lighting because it's dark. I have my Yor wig because she is also heavily styled and I don't want to just throw her in a bag. And then right now I also have just more Aloy stuff, just it's everywhere. Some people like to organize their fabric by color. I organize it by type and use case. In the bottom, I have 2 cubes dedicated to mock-up fabric. So this is stuff like old sheets and fabric that I've thrifted, stuff that I am specifically using for mock-ups. I guess I have 3 cubes dedicated to that, but the last one also has interfacing and batting and felt. Also on the bottom is where I keep the faux fur, because faux fur is very sneezy. I don't tend to use it a ton, and I like to keep it kind of away from everything else. Then I also have a cube for my velvets and satins, just nice, pretty, fancy fabrics. They go in there. Next to that is my spandex, and you will notice, not really a folder, kind of a shover. I'm gonna have to iron it anyway, and sometimes it gets folded, sometimes it doesn't. Yeah. Then I have my faux suedes. I use suede a ton, so it also gets its very own cube. It is one of my very favorite fabrics to put in a cosplay. I love the texture. Then I got my faux leathers, also something I really like to work with. I think it gives everything just like a nice, elevated, rugged, natural touch, even though it is totally made of plastic. I really respect cosplayers who use real leather in their cosplays. I don't want to spend the money on real leather for cosplays, so plastic it is. Over here is my wigs. This is an incredibly heavy bucket. I need to go through these wigs really bad and get rid of some, but these are all the ones that are just bag wigs that I can throw in a bag and shove in here and then just give them a brush and they're good to go. Then I have like my lace drawer, so all of my eyelet lace, any sort of embroidered lace, it all goes together in here. And next to that is the chiffons, because I'm usually using lace and chiffon next to each other. I really like the look of chiffon, and I do end up using it in a lot of cosplays. It is a nightmare to work with though, but I do keep doing that to myself. And actually this drawer is my Melanoy project, which is in progress. I started it last year, and the early release date for the game came and went, and I was initially going to try and finish it for Katsucon in 2024, and I was like, you know what? If the game's not even out, I'm not gonna try and finish the cosplay. So after Aloy's done, I'll pick back up on this. It's about halfway done. Back over here, this is where I keep all my paper patterns. I draft a lot of my own patterns, but also sometimes it's nice to just be able to reference a commercial one. I do not buy patterns unless they are on sale for $2, so you also shouldn't. Don't buy patterns full price. This cube's interesting because I keep sort of my cosplay like undergarments in here. So I have dance tights, corsets, shapewear, safety shorts. My tailor's ham also usually ends up in here. This one's empty. This is for just for expansion. And then this is another current project bin. This is Aloy, so I have all my Aloy materials in here. Some people don't really like storage cubes. As you can see, I'm a big fan of storage cubes, but mostly I'm a big fan of storage cubes because it's what I already have, and I don't want to have to completely redo my whole sewing room, I'd rather spend that money on cosplay. Angling ever so slightly, I have my 2 dress forms. This is my adjustable one and this is my not adjustable one, but this one does have arms, which is very cool. And would you look at that? It has my Aloy skirt on it. If you'd like to see this cosplay's progress, you can like, subscribe, hit the bell notification because I will have more videos coming out on this project. Anyway, behind the mannequins is where I keep my folded up ironing board, just to keep it out of the way when I'm like cutting stuff out on the floor or crafting. And then this makes me so sad. My fern staff is back here. It's broken. The 3D file I used is not super sturdy. It's pretty top heavy. I've moved twice since I made it and it has not survived. So it's in there in case I decide I want to try and repair it. I don't know, it's just gonna keep breaking. So it might just guilt corner. That's the guilt corner right there. And of course a mirror so I can see what my cosplay looks like as I'm making it. And then coming around here, I have another set of those white discontinued IKEA cubes. I am going to have to insert a screenshot because if you go back to some of my old videos on my channel, which may or may not be unlisted, these were actually on the wall because I had a dream and my dad very nicely made that happen for me. These did not belong on a wall, but I put them there. But anyway, now that house cosplay storage all these years later. This set of cubes is actually where I store all of my cosplay accessories. So my system is every cube has 2 cosplays housed in it, sometimes 3 if they are small enough. I'll show you with Zelda. So every single cosplay gets a photo box. I usually get these from Michael's and they always have just like a cute little print on them. And then all of the accessories and things that I'm not really gonna hang up live in the photo box. I can grab the box if I'm going for a photo shoot, and it's really easy. Some props are like too big and don't really fit in a box. So a perfect example of that is Thumbelina and Fern, they share a box. So it just kind of goes on the side of the box. It's organized to where I know where everything is. These for the most part are empty and are ready for more eventual photo boxes. So this is where I'm keeping Tanacht Aloy. And then right now, because I am working on Aloy, I have jute rope and then raffia. If you wait for a couple weeks, you will see my thoughts on this in an upcoming video. Then I have this Alex drawer organizer. This I tried on my regular work desk and I didn't like it so much, so now it lives down here. And then TV. It's the only reason I can stay caught up on Critical Role. TV not necessary for a craft room, but I do really like it. Scooting over here on the top of this 4th set of Alex drawers, I have my 3D printer. I like having it on top of the drawers because I used to have it on a desk and it would get bumped and mess up my prints if I was like trying to work on something at the same time something was printing. So I like having it kind of away from everything else. You can also see my squiggle lights. I have these on 2 of my walls. I do really like them. I had an Amazon gift card and like I said, dark in here, so they serve 2 functions. A little bit of wall decoration for when I change the colors, and then also it helps me actually see what I'm doing. So these drawers are strictly crafting and stuff I'm not reaching for a lot. They are a lot messier than the first 3 drawers I showed you. This top drawer has super glue, magnets, 3D printing accessories, a bottle of alcohol so I can clean off the print plate, just razor blades, mostly stuff I'm using for 3D printing. Lower is more 3D printing accessories. I also keep my wood burning tool in here. I never use it inside. I take it out to the garage, but it does live in here. But yeah, I have extra nozzles and gears because this printer, you have to replace parts on it to make it work good. But yeah, I've got like some screws, rubber washers, just this is the engineering drawer. Down here is a pretty messy drawer. It's got some tape, it's got an old build plate that I feel like I could use in some capacity. I don't want to throw it away, you're gonna notice a pattern. I've got embroidery hoops, I have a paper cutter, some golf balls that I used to make my Kermit Halloween costume for the eyeballs. So if I need to make eyeballs again, I got plenty of ping pong balls to do it. Down here is clamps and then a box of macrame project that I haven't finished, so it lives in there. And then down here I have some UV resin, foam clay, and then a bag of the like moldable plastic pearls that you like put in hot water. I actually still haven't used them yet. I need to find a way to use them. And now it's time for the closet portion, which is where I store the majority of my cosplays. This side is a little bit of cosplay storage, but it's mostly storage for things that come in rolls. I have a roll of Worbla, I have my patterning paper, and then in the back here, I actually have this ginormous roll of leather. I went to a local liquidation store and they happened to have faux leather on sale for $1.35 a yard. So I have a ton of that and it lives back here and it is great. I like that. Up here, I have more 3D printer filament in the very top. And then I keep my rolls of foam, and then I have these plastic bins. One of them has Worbla scraps, one of them has foam scraps, and then the others have more like crafty materials and things for resin and silicone casting. And then any really long cosplays live right here. Because down here is where I keep all of my cosplay shoes. Top drawer is actually petticoat and tripod case storage. And then the other 3 drawers are all my cosplay shoes, the ones I really only wear for cosplays. If I can wear a shoe outside of a convention setting, I will. But anything that is like a little too not what I'm wearing on the daily, it lives in here. And then this is where most of the cosplays are hanging. Everything's hung up, everything's nice. I think it would be nice to store everything in a garment bag. I just have not really gotten around to it. Up on the top shelf, one of those boxes actually has a mold of my face in it because when I made my Kira cosplay, I thought I was gonna be able to make a full silicone mask, but that was an absolute pipe dream. I don't know why I thought I could do that. But now I have a mold of my face, so that's fun. And then my sewing machine cover, and I also have a box of my old cosplays that I don't really wear anymore, but I don't want to get rid of, like my Ladybug cosplays in there. That is like the cosplay that made this channel like grow. I know I'm not a huge channel, but that's always gonna be a really special project for me. So it's in that box, nice and folded up, safe, clean, warm, away from the ground in case things flood. It's great. I love my little cosplay closet. I'm really glad I can open this up and see all the things I've made. It's really cool. I think you're really gonna like this. This is my prop wall. So I used to work for a phone accessory store. I worked in their warehouse, and I'm still close to some of the people that work there, and they actually shut down a store and they were getting rid of all of their displays. So I have here just this rotating pegboard display. And I keep all of my props on it. This specifically was for pop sockets, and I still have the sign for it. I think it's very funny, so I keep it around. But everything is zip tied to here. If I need to get it off, I just clip the zip ties. But I also have some hooks, so I can just grab the hooks. And I keep it far enough away from the wall that I can just kind of keep it rotating, so I can access anything I would like. And I have 2. I have another one. And yeah, totally free. So keep an eye out for stores that are closing in your area. Check your local dead mall. See what you can pick up. It's sweet. And then turning this way just a little bit, this is where I keep my fancy fairy wings. I really love these. They're beautiful, so I display them as well as wear them with some cosplays. I need to make another cosplay incorporating them. And then the other set of my lights. And that's it. That's my cosplay room. I really hope you enjoyed watching it. I really want to reiterate that buying things secondhand for cosplay is a really great way to not only be a little bit sustainable, but to save a lot of money. So check Facebook Marketplace, Kijiji, Craigslist for any sort of furniture that you want. Or like I said, dead malls. My stuff doesn't match. It's not perfectly aesthetic in here, but it really works well for what I use it for, which is just doing my hobby, making little outfits, and making little videos, which if you enjoyed this one, you can absolutely subscribe to my channel. You can also follow me on Instagram and TikTok. I am OneEmilys everywhere. Thank you again for watching. Good luck on whatever you're cosplaying right now, and I will see you next time. Bye!